Hey everyone! Hey everyone, if you are just joining us now, we're going to get started in just a few minutes as people start to jump on. I see we have a few viewers, but I'm going to toss up the main slide of our presentation here, which has a link to a sign-in sheet that we do need you to sign in for, okay? Hey John.
Hello. Man, they redesigned this whole thing again. I don't even know what all these buttons do.
I know, it's crazy. All right. There we go. Let's see here. Okay, so I can answer questions with the Q&A app that I've launched, um, but I don't know how to actually type something in. I don't think I can. I think I just have to answer it verbally. Do you know?
I don't know. I've not used the Q&A. I'm glad they have it though. We used to have to run all these different programs in order to do that.
Yeah, it's brand new for sure. So Keith asked a question about how I'm doing and how everything's going over here. It's good. Where are you? It's weird not being able to see everyone for sure. So. We have just about everyone here who said they were going to sign up. I think it looked like we were going to have about 16 people here. Hey, John, do you want to pull up the sign-in sheet and see if people have been signing in?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks. Oh, all right, so I think we'll get started. Hey, everyone, I'm Megan Daniel, for those of you who don't know me, and popping in and out is also John Sowash. Sorry, John. We're both Google education trainers, and we are here this evening so that we can have an opportunity to catch up with you all and get you moving forward to celebrate some successes and update you on the latest things that are coming down with Google. If you want to take a second, we do have a Q&A section that we have launched that should be on the side of your screen. A couple people have already introduced themselves on the side. This is a great way to connect. So thanks, Janet, for introducing yourself, and Jeremy, too. Awesome. So I think we'll get started. John, you have anything to add before we go?
Good to be with you all. I am coming from you from the most remote portion of Michigan that's still in Michigan you can imagine. I am like a stone's throw from the Wisconsin border in Iron Mountain, Michigan, in the Upper Peninsula. There are a lot of trees here. But, yeah, thrilled to be here through technology. I'm in the only portion of Michigan that is on Central Time, which is really weird. I didn't even know there was a part of Michigan that was on Central Time, but they are. So thanks for letting me join you, Megan.
Yeah, thanks so much. All right, so we're going to get started here with just talking about some successes. We have had an absolutely outstanding amount of people who have been successful with completing exams, and we've even had a few people who have submitted case studies and begun the process of elevating from Google Qualified Educator to an education trainer. So you know, this is exactly what John and I had hoped as we traveled across the state over the last few months to help build capacity for really strong Google educators. And it's working. So congratulations to all of you. It's very, very cool. I've got too many things going on. All right. So as you can see, starting very soon. What day is it? Today's the 18th. Yay! Officially, we have a new application session open, and it runs through the 21st of November. So you can see it's a solid, you know, essentially 2-month time frame, and notifications do happen pretty quickly. I think I received mine within like less than a week of when I did submit my application. John, did you hear that quickly too, or was it?
Yes, it was. Yeah, I think they reviewed everything very quickly, and within a couple days, everybody was notified. So it was a very fast turnaround.
Awesome. So the next sessions have not been posted as to when they will begin up in January, but they do typically have that 8 to 10 week time frame where they're accepting applications, and then once again the turnaround does take place pretty quickly. So the big thing that's happening right now is that Google is updating their exams and their study material. Obviously, there were some major overhauls that took place over the summer, especially once the conference took place, and as a result, they realized pretty quickly that the exams were not going to be indicative of what people were actually doing and using. So if you are in a point where you are about ready to take your exams, I would highly recommend that you get them done before the 26th. As of that point, the exams are going to be changing to represent what is most current. So it's up to you and how you want to study and do your work. But if you've been preparing with the previous material, I would finish up as quickly as you can.
The big exam that you want to worry about is the Google Drive exam, because that's the product that's had the most changes in the past few weeks, months. So, like Megan said, if in the process of studying for that, make sure you take it before they update everything on the exam. If you haven't started studying for the Google Drive exam, wait. Wait till they update it. They'll take them down for a little while. Just a few days, and then they'll throw them back up with the updated exam content. I'm quite surprised that this is even happening. As I told many of you, I had very little faith that they were going to be able to keep these things updated because they change so rapidly, but it looks like they're making a go at it, which is good. That's what they should do. So as soon as we're able to, we will update the exam material that we have prepared and shared after those new exams come out.
All right. Well, so as many of you have seen, there have been just an absolutely wonderful amount of resources that have been plopped into that Google group that John started. If you haven't signed up or set your settings for the Google group to contact you at least on a fairly regular basis, even if it's just once a week, I would really suggest that you do that. People are offering insight and reflection onto how their exams went left and right, and it's astounding the things that people are taking away. So really take a second to go through that Google group and see what people have posted. Study guides have been put in there, links to different websites. John found like the most insane website ever that literally had every single question and every single answer for his when he was taking his Google Sites exam. So it's really, really valuable to check out those resources that have provided, not just in the group, but then also on your GCA site that was created for your specific training session. So, oops. Let's see here. So we do have a lot of upcoming events. If you are looking for a way to get involved with the ed tech community. So, I mean, John, do you want to talk about some of these? I'm not real familiar with the first few.
Yeah, I just know that a lot of you have expressed a little bit of concern saying, I want to become a Google education trainer, but I don't have the necessary training experience. So we're recommending you have about a dozen training events listed on your resume. And so if that's your challenge, if that's what you're working on, here are a handful of potential opportunities that you can take advantage of. Now, a couple of them have passed, like the ICE conference. That deadline is passed now, but a few of them are still available. The big one that I would jump on quickly would be the McCall conference. That deadline is coming up in 2 weeks. That's arguably the best opportunity for you to get your name out there and kind of establish yourself as an ed tech leader within the state of Michigan. So all those links are there, and you can check those out. Yeah, I think that one will be the best for you. And I'll update that slide as I become aware of future conferences and opportunities. I'll put them on there. And if you know of one, if your school district, something is hosting something with an opportunity for others to present, email myself, email Megan, and we can email it out to the larger community.
Thank you. So as far, John kind of touched on the case study piece. One of the big important components of the case study, remember, is that you are including at least 12 training events on your resume. And I know I've talked with many of you about what these training events can look like and how sometimes it's really okay to think outside of the box. A lot of people seem to be worried that they don't have the typical professional learning environment where they're standing in front of their entire staff, or it's a designated professional development day. It's okay if you keep track of things like a department meeting where you have shared out a specific strategy or a how-to within Google Apps, as long as you are maintaining documentation of what it is you're doing. So, make a slide deck, or if you're putting together some kind of document to help guide people through. Make sure you're saving the links to those things, and then also gathering any form of feedback that you can do during that session. So obviously you all saw the type of feedback that John and I asked for, which was a mixture of scaled questions as well as qualitative feedback. Those are really great components in the case study. It gives you a very well-rounded approach to not only offering the insight and reflection piece throughout the case study, but also saying, look, here's how I can support my reflection and my insight to move forward. As far as your, oh, sorry, John, did you have something?
No, just to clear, I don't want anybody to freak out about that number 12 on there. That is not an official, well, that's our recommendation. Because remember, as a Google Education trainer, once you become one, the expectation is that you will lead at least 12 events per year, 4 per quarter, or 3 per quarter. And so my opinion is that if you really want to establish yourself and get through your application, then you should be able to demonstrate that you're already doing that. So now, if you get 10, you get 11, you get 8, I mean, that's not going to take you out of the running, but I think 12 is the goal you should shoot for.
Yes, thank you. When it comes to your video, so, oh, sorry, Jana, I hope that answers your question. I just was looking at the list here. When it comes to your video, I think one of the best ways to remember how to focus in your video is to think not just about a pie, but a slice of a pie. The more focused and specific your topic, the better. And obviously, you want to keep, it needs to be less than 2 minutes long, and practice it before you go ahead and record it, or record it a few times. And it's really kind of funny for if you haven't actually made a screencast before where you have a time limit involved, it's kind of a funny experience the first couple times you do it. So allow yourself that opportunity to practice and show it to someone, have someone look at it and offer you some feedback before you submit it. And anything helps. If you want to do one of the picture in videos where it has it's activated your webcam as well as your screencast, those are great because people like to see who you are along with the voice that goes with your presentation. It also is important to have a nice clear sound. So if you have a microphone available, or you have a computer that has a really solid microphone component, that's really good. Anything else, John?
Nope, those are good. Just remember that there are some examples that you can take a look at. They are in that shared folder that we gave you access to. So there are resumes, case studies, and videos posted there. And as you complete yours and go through the process, we would be very grateful if you would consider donating your video, case study, or resume to the greater cause so that others can take a look at it and kind of model their content off of what you developed.
All right. So the big exciting news of the last couple weeks is that Forms finally got an update, and it's awesome.
Oh my goodness, it's like 21st century now, out of the 90s.
It's so fantastic. I love it. Um, for those of you who have used Forms, it's so awesome. Not only are there new themes that are available for it, but you can actually modify and make your own. So they finally realized that people, like to customize, and it's just really, really fantastic. Another thing that I've seen a lot of recently, which is pretty cool, is educators taking screenshots of, for instance, instructional coach took screenshots of a standardized assessment that all sixth graders in their district take, and she used the image option for each one of the questions. So there was no having to use an equation editor or anything like that. It was just popping an image above each question and sticking the answers. So there are just tremendous capabilities now for making forms not only more functional but prettier.
I will say that I'm really missing the gingerbread men, though. I mean, it was coming.
Yeah.
We're coming close to Christmas. I was really looking forward to that. I'll have to find another option.
Nice. All right. Google Classroom is now available all across the board. It is taking the world by storm. I think one of the things that both John and I would just really hammer home as you're working with your schools is that it is not at all yet at a point where it should be replacing existing learning management systems. It is designed right now to be congruent and a support and management system for the use of docs in the classroom.
There are a couple of blog posts linked down there at the bottom that I've written based on lots of conversations that I have had with people. I have a post on getting started with Classroom that's just kind of basic setup stuff, nothing that you guys probably would need. I'm sure you can handle it just fine. But I did do another one on 5 Google Classroom mistakes. Caused quite a bit of controversy and discussion, debate in the larger community. You might want to take a look at that just to get your thoughts. And then there's a couple of issues that schools are experiencing related to permissions, more from an administrative standpoint. So, for example, one of the things that you may have seen, the first time you go into a classroom, you're prompted with a message that says, "Are you a student or are you a teacher?" And for whatever reason, if you click student, so like perhaps you're trying to just see what it looks like from a student perspective, you will find that you are now stuck and you cannot create classes because Google thinks that you're a student. And that is something that is fairly easy to fix, but will require some intervention from your IT department, whoever has access to your management console. The other issue that I'm very disappointed to see is the way Google Classroom works is it automatically creates this Google group called Classroom Teachers, and that's used to identify who's a teacher and who's a student. But for some extremely odd reason, there are quite a few schools that have deleted that group. And if you delete that group, you have completely destroyed Google Classroom, and as of today, there is no fix. It's a known issue, something Google is working on, but please do not delete your Google Classroom group. Only someone who has access to your control panel would be able to do that. I'm not really sure what's going on. I'm not in the custom of, hey, I don't know what this is, let's delete it. But dozens and dozens of schools across the country have done this, and it renders Google Classroom completely unusable to teachers and students. So I'll put that post in there as well, but pass it on to your IT person. Make sure they don't delete that group. Very bad.
Yeah. What he said. The next big update has to do with Google Drive. You know, if your school has not switched over to the new Drive, it needs to happen. It will likely be the default view by November. So the sooner you can get people using it and comfortable with it so that they are, in a good space when they can't view the old version anymore, the better. better. So it's also a good opportunity for you to get a jump start if you're providing any kind of training materials or handouts or slides, anything. It's a good opportunity for you to jump and move forward.
Megan, what's your opinion here? I mean, you do a lot of training around the state. Are you telling people to switch over? Or you keep them with the old drive?
I do tell people to switch over, and the reason is because it's inevitable that it is going to become the default view. And what I do is we start in the old view, and then I have everybody convert together with me to the new view, and we just really take note at what is similar and what's different. So as we're moving through, people realize, oh, okay, it's not really, the layout isn't that much different, but we really focus in on some of the new things that can be done as far as click and drag, the new ways to share, how you can delete documents without having to actually open it up. Creating folders is a little bit more simple. So I just really spend time having people comfortable with the feel of the actual dashboard itself. And that seems to get people over the hump pretty well.
Good. Yeah, I've just started the last couple of weeks. I finally convinced myself to start training in the new drive because, like you said, it's going to happen. You might as well get used to it. And so for all of you, this is a tremendous opportunity. I mean, this is the whole point of why we started this program, because rather than having your school hire Megan or myself, I am the world's worst business person. Now you are fully equipped to train your staff, the staff at your school, on how to use the new drive. It's something you should be able to do in an hour or less. And that's a great thing to add to your resume.
So Jeremy just asked if, not the form one, he just asked, is there a way to have a file show up in multiple folders in the new drive? The answer to that is yes. It's just a little bit of a funky procedure to do. And actually, why don't I just demonstrate that real quick? What do you think, John? Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So when we go into, hi, there's my face. Let me open up my drive here. When we go into Google Drive, it is not opening for me.
It's slow when we're running the Hangout. Here, while you go ahead and open it. Let me answer Jeremy's earlier question about forms, themes, editing. It is a little funky right now. All of you should have the new themes. Like when you create, you open a new form, it gives you those options, but it's still that old window, not the one that allows you to customize the theme. And so, Jeremy, your Google Apps domain is probably on scheduled release, which, if I remember correctly, means you have, I think, 4 weeks of delay before updated things hit your account. And that's to give administration time to prepare training and documentation for the users. So it's coming probably within the next month. What you can do is, if you ask your Google Apps administrator, they can set up an organizational unit of like early beta testers and put you into this early release track, and so you'll get the new features when they're launched immediately, and then you can prepare and get ready to train everybody else when it hits their accounts 4 or so weeks later. So hang in there. The other thing that just came out is the new sharing window, and that just hit my account on Monday or Tuesday while I was in the middle of a training session. I was like, oh, this is nice. So yeah, be ready for that. There's nothing new about it. They just moved everything around. Supposedly simplified. I'm not convinced yet. It's better or simpler. I'm still kind of getting used to it. But you'll notice that the sharing window is going to be different as you share things across the Google platform.
Okay, so Jeremy and everyone else who's listening, here's what happens. If you want to put a document into multiple folders, you have to open up your file and go to the File dropdown and click on Move to Folder. When you do this, if you hold down your Control button, or for those of you using a Mac, your Apple button, if you just hold that down, you can click on as many folders as you want and click Move, and it will put the document into all of those folders. That's simple.
Yeah, it's the way we used to do it. We used to be able to do it from the dashboard rather than having to open the file up. So there's all kind of little quirky things in the new version. That's the price of change, I suppose.
Yeah. So, um, let's see. Trying to look and see. Do we have any other questions here on the side that we haven't answered?
Yeah, Jeremy wanted to know about tips for the sites and Chrome exams. So, Jeremy, I have the world's greatest resource for Google Sites. I found this completely random website that literally lists all of the questions and all of the answers. So, check that out. It's linked in the GCA Google group. You'll see it posted there under exam. I don't know, it says exam discussion, tips and tricks or something. So definitely want to reference that one. And then the Chrome exam is arguably the easiest of all of them. Really, I would not worry about it. I mean, Jeremy, I follow you on social media. I know you're very knowledgeable at all this stuff. You will not have any trouble with Chrome. I mean, it's just about opening new tabs and adding bookmarks, real basic stuff. The Sites exam is tough. That one definitely you'll want to have some resources prepared, but the Chrome exam you'll breeze through.
Janet just asked a question about copying a whole folder. I'm guessing in the same way. Can you copy whole folders in that way? I'm guessing she's asking about the same way of putting a document in multiple folders.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the copy function in the new drive is still one of the most annoying things in my opinion. You cannot copy multiple things at the same time. In the old drive, you used to be able to select 10 things and just make copies of them altogether. Now you have to do it one at a time. You have never been able to copy an entire folder and all of the contents of that folder.
There's a script.
There is a script.
Yeah. If you just do a search for copy Google Drive folder, it's out there, and it walks you through exactly what you need to do. There's like 3 steps, super easy.
Yes, Megan and I have been using this script a lot because we have a master folder of all of the resources that we use when we do training. And those are quite a few things in there, all the forms and activities that you experience at the GCA, and it's just too much work to manually copy them all. So we run this script and just make a copy of the whole folder, which is it's very nice. Let me see. I will after we're done here, I'll post a link to that script in the GCA group so you can all access it because it is very handy.
Yeah. Any other questions? Pop them up in the side if you have one, since we can't see your faces. That's so weird. That's the thing that's changed with Hangouts. It used to be that the first 10 people arrived to the Hangout would show up along the bottom, no matter what. But now to have people show up on the bottom, they actually have to be specifically invited. It's weird.
And it's not because we don't like everybody.
No.
There's 16 of you, and only the first 15 will be able to get in, so somebody would be very left out.
Yeah, that'd be a bummer. All right. Well, since nothing's popping up here, if y'all have any questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch with John or I. And like I said earlier, one of the best resources you can utilize is that Google group, because people are just dropping great hints in there left and right, and it's such a wonderful community of collaborators worth taking advantage of.
Absolutely. Yep.
Janet just said, I tried the script, but our school domain blocks it. As a teacher, I want to be able to copy whole folders for the next year, so I hope they fix that. I hope they fix that too, Janet. From what I remember up in Cadillac, it seems like if you have a concern or a question, just propose it to your tech people. I think if you offer a really compelling reason as to why it would be a valuable option, they'll listen.
Your little workaround for that, Janet, is share your folder with your personal Gmail account, and then create your copies through your personal Gmail account, and then share them back to your school account. That'll save you a little bit of time. But, that's how you can work around a few issues just through the sharing.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, thanks for coming to my house.
Great to be here with everybody. Hey, one little side note. I know a lot of you applied to the My Google conference, and just want to assure you that we are almost finished with the reviews of those proposals. I reviewed about 100 of them last night. So our goal is to send out the acceptance letters this weekend. So stay tuned. And we had some great sessions, and it's going to be a great conference. We hope to see you there.
Yeah. Yeah, make sure you get in touch with us when you come, because you're all coming. So, thanks again for joining us, and don't hesitate to get in touch if you have any more questions. Bye.
Everybody, good night.
Good night.